So you know the term actions speak louder than words, right? Well, parenting experts say showing kids how to say sorry is more powerful than just telling them.
Absolutely. We've got to model the behavior we expect from them. Roxia talked with an expert about why apologizing to your kids is so important. She joins us now to explain. Good morning to you.
Good morning,
Hello.
you guys. How's it going?
Good. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
In living color and not in the box.
Yes, I know. It's exciting. And I love our new set, too.
Yes,
Well,
nice.
old set that's new again.
Old is new again, yes.
So I follow a lot of these like parenting things on Instagram, the parenting accounts. I like them. And this one really caught my attention. It's called Raising Yourself. So if you think about that for a moment, right? Raising yourself, there's a big message there because when you're raising your kids, you're also raising yourself. So we learn as we go. Now, one of the things that I keep reading about, and quite honestly, I really struggle with, is apologizing to my kids when there's a need for it. And a certified family wellness coach, Shelly started this Instagram account when COVID hit. She used it as an outlet, and she found that most parents are looking to improve themselves in order to then be better parents. But admitting when you're wrong and actually saying the words, "I am sorry," can be so challenging.
If our parents didn't apologize to us, it feels like it's almost like in our DNA. It's kind of like been wired in us. So it feels hard because your brain thinks that's the right way. It got wired in as a message. And so now you're trying to write a new message to your brain. And our brains do not like to do new things. They do not like new habits. They don't like new behavior. They just want to go on autopilot. That's why changing our behavior is so hard. It's hard for you because you're trying to create a new pattern in your brain. And it's also hard because our egos get in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the egos get in the way. Whenever egos get in the way of anything, I mean, it becomes an issue, no matter the situation. So here's an example that Shelly actually shared about what it can feel like when you first apologize or practice apologizing to your kids, why it is totally a normal feeling, and the vital lesson you're teaching your kids.
I vividly remember the first time I apologized to my son. He was 2, so this was 10 years ago. And I was literally like, it was like I was like, I couldn't even, but I kind of like muttered it out. I'm like, I'm sorry. It was a really pathetic apology, but I did it. And I was like, why was that so hard? And why did that feel so gross and awkward? And I've gotten much better at apologizing now, but I can tell you, if it helps to motivate you and inspire you to apologize, kids feel so connected to us when we apologize. They're like, oh, I deserved that. My parents knew that they made a mistake and I was worthy of an apology. And I know they're not thinking those exact words in their heads, but it really does build connection, and it models to them when they make a mistake, and maybe they're not going to master this when they're 3 and they're 4, but as they grow up, it will be less hard for them to apologize to others when they need to repair in a relationship. So it goes full circle, right? We apologize to them so that they grow up knowing how to apologize to other people and take accountability for their behavior. But I get it. It's hard.
So that's what you got to keep in mind. You teach them this is how you behave. And so when you make a mistake, you apologize.
Right.
But still, it's a struggle. And I know your son's quite young right now, but you will find that it can be difficult. And you've been around kids because you used to teach children.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what? I will tell you, Roxy, watching that, my mom, I remember when we were younger, she would apologize to my brother and I.
Really?
I remember that, yes. I remember moments where my mom would I remember being a kid and she would say, Mel, Mom is sorry, and she would explain. So I remember that because I think, look, it's incumbent upon us as adults, as parents, you're developing these lives as well to model the behavior that you expect. But also it takes a lot of courage to apologize because it's a vulnerable position to put yourself in.
Right, and you're also trying to maintain this position of authority as a parent.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Right,
yes.
So you're hunting yourself.
Yeah, that's my thing. See, I was going to ask you if your parents apologized. My parents never did, so I didn't grow up with that.
A couple of times, and I remember those times very distinctly. It was when I was very young. And my mom was having a rough day, and she sat me down and she apologized. So the fact that I remember that happening is just goes to show you how impactful that can be for a kid.
Yeah. No, it almost feels like, quite honestly, they're like, the devil Aroxia and the angel Aroxia. And when I'm about to apologize, they're fighting because inside I want to do it, and then I hold myself back because I feel as though then I'm weaker for it, which is completely the opposite of what the message is here.
right,
So
yeah.
Right.
don't be like me. But yeah, no, I think the biggest thing is that when you do become a parent, you're always working on yourself to improve yourself, to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
And so that's why I love this Instagram handle, Raising Yourself. And throughout the week, you guys, I'll have different topics that we
great,
tackle.
Alexia.
Love
I think
that.
tomorrow we'll do the different types of parenting. How about that?
I think it's important to remember you're holding yourself, right, as we're developing other people.
You're growing along with your kid.
That's right,
That's a
Maria.
fact.
You know, I've
Going over to you.
I met Aroxia before she got. I mean, well, no, you just got married, so way
Yeah.
before you had kids, and you have changed
For the better,
For
please
the
say.
better,
Yeah, thank
yes. You have learned to apologize. She has learned to apologize. Maria, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that thing. No, but
That's what it was. Maria, you're right. You were right about that.
that one she has a hard time saying. You were right. You were right about that.